Hello, friends. Welcome to our series India After Independence. Let's begin tribal integration and national consolidation. Tribals of Northeast were subjected to high degree of isolation during British rule, and as a result of it, they were able to preserve their unique identities. Little land was owned by outsiders. They remained in majority in the areas they resided. But all this at the cost of their underdevelopment. This area also remained politically isolated as well and was hence untouched by ideas of nationalism and a common unifying bond. A special need of Northeast tribes were addressed through provisions of 6th schedule, which is applicable only to tribes of Northeast. It provided for tribal autonomous districts and regional councils which could work independently and perform some of legislative and judicial functions as well. However, problems arose in tribal areas for their threat perception and integration issues. Hill tribals had little cultural affinity with those in plains of Assam and Bengal, and they were apprehensive that people from plains will intrude into their areas and will ultimately take control over resources and cultural identities. Political leadership also failed to perceive this development, and it aggravated over time, and in mid 1950s a demand for separate hill state arose in Assam, to which government didn't pay any serious attention. When Assamese was made the sole official language ignoring other tribal languages in 1961, protest voices got further louder and it culminated into first creation of Meghalaya state within state Assam in 1969 and later a full state in 1972. Union territories of Manipur and Tripura were also granted statehood. Though transition to statehood of Manipur, Tripura, Meghalaya, and Arunachal Pradesh was smooth, it was not so in case of Nagaland and Mizoram. Naga areas were totally isolated during British rule, and after independence, Government of India sought to integrate them. But they opposed in favor of a separate independent state under leadership of a Fizo and British officers and missionaries' support. In 1955, a violent campaign was launched by Nagas and they declared independence from Assam and India. To this, Government of India responded with a firm foot and sent army, and prolonged negotiations were also pursued along with. After army intervention, rebellion's back was broken and more moderate leader like Dr. Im Kongliba accepted the offer of separate Naga state which came into existence in 1963. Declaration of separate state led to decline of insurgency with so sporadic outbursts with Chinese, East Pakistani and Burmese support. Army also gained some unpopularity due to some unpleasant incidents. A few years later, similar situation developed in autonomous districts of Mizo in Assam. They were relatively settled with the idea of being part of India. But inadequate measures during 1959 famine and later declaration of Assamese as official language stalked the secessionist tendencies, and Mizo National Front was formed with Lal Ninga as its leader and tacit support from China and East Pakistan. It declared independence in 1966 and launched violent insurgency which was met by tough stance of Indian Army. Ladinga and other fleets into East Pakistan and Mizoram was given status of a union territory in 1973. In 1986, when MNF and Lalinga surrendered, government also softened stance and invited them into mainstream, announcing full statehood to Mizoram, with Lalinga as its first chief minister in 1987. Case of Jharkhand was different. It also had one-third tribal population, and Jharkhand area was generally poor and exploited despite presence of mineral resources. Early leaders like Jaipal mobilized supports in 1950s with tribal identity as a railing point, but soon realized that larger population was not tribal and hence the idea didn't work. In 1970s, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha led by Shibu Soren redefined the strategy and took both the tribals and non-tribals together, claiming that North Bihar and other outsiders have led to their exploitation and underdevelopment. The struggle went through various ups and downs before Jharkhand got full statehood in 2000. Thank you.